Hi, I'm Bill Gates, CEO of Microsoft, and I'd like to welcome you to Microsoft eXtreme. Microsoft eXtreme is our way of letting you see our latest products and get a glimpse of what great things are coming in the future. We built Microsoft by listening to you to get your feedback on our products. What you'll see today is the fruition of your input. Windows 98 is a great example of a product based on listening to you. Today, I hope you'll see that what you tell us really shapes the products we create. Enjoy the show, and thanks for being here.
Live from Redmond, Washington, it's Microsoft eXtreme, starring the Microsoft Money 98 Financial Suite, Microsoft Outlook 98, Microsoft Publisher 98, the Auto PC and Palm PC powered by Windows CE, and an in-depth look at Windows 98. This is your opportunity to get an exclusive inside look at new Microsoft products and technologies. From Trumbull, Connecticut and Normal, Illinois, to Toronto, Ontario and El Paso, Texas, welcome.
Hey there, Steve. How's it going?
Good, Suzi. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. I'd like to introduce Mr. Steve Masters, Program Manager for the Auto PC, who's going to share with us today some of the new technology that our WinCE guys are working on. Steve, please take it away.
Okay, Suzi. Well, what we have here is the Auto PC powered by Windows CE.
Okay.
What we're doing, let's bring it up here. So what we're doing is we're bringing the power of Windows CE into your automobile. So we're going to give you access to entertainment and information while you're driving, using both the normal faceplate buttons that you'd find on your normal car stereo today, as well as a speech recognition system and text-to-speech output. So not only can you talk to your car can talk back to you while you're driving, letting you keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road.
So how does this play into the overall WinCE line?
Well, as I mentioned, it is a Windows CE device, so it takes advantage of a lot of the Windows CE features, such as infrared data transfer, and it's an open platform, so you can add applications to it, and as well as the normal applications that are on here. So instead of just your normal radio and CD player, we've added a lot of additional functionality.
Cool.
So, for instance, when you're in the car, Suzi, or today, like where do you want to go today?
Well, let's imagine, let's pretend I want to go to the airport.
Okay, so we've already set this for pretend to take us to SeaTac Airport.
All right.
So the first thing we want to do is, let's go ahead and get some directions. So it'll calculate directions for us, and then tell us that.
Turn left onto Northeast 40th Street.
Okay.
Okay, so we could just follow those directions all the way to the airport, and as we get to each one of the points on the map, right, we can get the next direction. Next.
Turn left onto 148th Avenue Northeast.
Now, as you notice, Suzi, I'm using speech at this point, because what we've done is we've said that we've decided there are driving and non-driving functions, and one of the driving functions, obviously, is you need to know when to turn it the next direction, but I don't want to have to look down and fiddle with a lot of buttons. What I really want to do is keep my eyes on the road, so I can use speech to ask the Auto PC to give me the next direction, and I can use speech in a lot of other areas while I'm driving, so that, again, my concentration can stay right on my driving task and not on operating, the car radio.
So, all right, so we're getting our directions, we're on our way. But you and I both know the airport is quite a ways between Redmond, which is where we are now, and the airport. We have about half an hour, 45 minutes. We like to optimize our time. So what are we going to do now?
Okay, well, one of the things I'd like to do is, I've been a little bit behind in my email lately.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've downloaded some of my email into the Auto PC. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that.
Okay.
Start.
Radio.
Wireless.
Bill Gates, March 13th, 1998, 3:55 a.m.
You notice I'm a little behind in my email, So I think I probably ought to take a look at this message from Bill. He probably wanted to talk something important. So I'll just, while I'm driving, I'll just ask it to be read to me. Read.
Bill Gates, March 13th, 1998, 3:55 a.m. Subject: third-party apps. Show me an example of a third-party application.
So Bill, you can see, is also interested in the Auto PC. And what else we can do besides the normal functions that we've built into it, besides the navigation that we've already looked at, and access to wireless information such as email and paging or traffic information. I also have an address book that's already built in. Just like your handheld devices, get the address book or contacts list. I can add third-party applications as well.
So just to sort of round up what you were saying, so we were able to get to the shell via the button that you have there, the little Windows logo. You were also able to use speech in order to get to that. Now, with your speech, does it have to know your specific accent and your specific sort of verbal tone?
Not at all. We actually are using what we call a speaker-independent speech recognition system. So we've designed it so that all manner of drivers, male, female, young, and old, will be able to use speech to interface with the Auto PC, and it should recognize them just fine. In the event that there's a word or two that it doesn't recognize, or they've added a third-party application and they've designed their application around some speech commands that we didn't include with the Auto PC, you can train the device, so you can train the additional words that you need so that you, again, as the driver, can use speech to interface with the Auto PC.
That's pretty exciting. All right, so before, I interrupted you when you were talking about your third-party applications, and you mentioned the address book, you mentioned some of the other stuff that might be done, and I noticed this cell phone right down here. So I unfortunately, for everybody else on the road, do talk on my cell phone when I drive. How is this going to help me be a safer driver?
Well, as I had mentioned, we do have the contacts list here, so we can go ahead and take a look at some of our contacts. Start.
Radio.
Address book.
Pat Abraham.
And while I'm in the address book, I can find the person that I say I want to call him up on the phone. Next.
Kathy Gravis.
So let's go ahead and give Kathy a call here using our cell phone, making the call directly from the Auto PC.
Okay.
Dial.
Call Kathy Gravis at home.
Yes.
Dialing. Area code 206-555-7878.
I think I'll talk to Kathy a little bit later.
Okay.
We're kind of busy right now.
Now, as you're calling her and you're speaking up, are you speaking into a microphone above you, or what are you doing in order for it to hear you?
Well, we've mounted a microphone in the car, and we happen to have this one placed up here in the ceiling. There's a couple different places that you could place them, and the audio installers, say the Clarion Pro audio installers, have a lot of data on correct mic placement for various vehicles, so they'll place the microphone in a location that works best for that particular vehicle.
When do you think folks will be able to get this kind of technology? When will they be able to start getting their Auto PC units?
Well, the Clarion Auto PC units, and they'll have the first one out on the market, will actually be available later this year, probably by the end of the summer.
That's pretty exciting. Could be a nice holiday gift for folks.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
For the gadget gear folk out there, absolutely. I like to listen to my radio and sing along. So how does this cover sort of the basic radio functionality for me?
So you're the karaoke kind of gal, right, Susie?
Absolutely.
Well, we've got, we certainly have a radio in the device, and we've built in a CD player. So both radio and CD player are just automatic with the Auto PC. So while you're driving, you can just go ahead and you've done your business and you want to listen to some music. You can go ahead and tell the Auto PC to say, let's go ahead and start up the disc player here, and we'll just listen to listen to a little bit of music.
Sounds good to me.
Start.
Radio.
Disc player. And if you notice, we can just go ahead and listen to some tunes while we head on back for the rest of your show there, Susie.
That's excellent. Now, I do have a specific question for you, Steve. I know you're a guy and all, so my big question for you is, now that you can get your directions from the computer, are you going to start asking for directions?
Well, Susie, guys will do anything if they can play with their computers.
Well, Steve, this has been great. Thank you very much for the ride and for sharing this amazing technology with
You're welcome.
me. Happy driving and have a good day.
Take care.
I'm back.
going to talk about today is the Palm PC, and as you can see here, Palm PCs are one of the newest small devices powered by Windows CE that let you take your most important information with you anywhere. What they do is, right here we have a Palm PC that's sitting in a cradle, and it allows you to take information from your PC, synchronizes automatically to your Palm PC, and then when you want to go, you just simply take your Palm PC, put it in the palm of your hand, and now you've got it with you. What I'm going to do is just give you kind of a quick run-through of some of the things that are in the software in a Palm PC. As we can see right here, what we've got is the active desktop. You can kind of think about this as your information at a glance. Right here I've got my upcoming appointments and my active tasks, but I could actually have it show me unread email messages or any information that I choose to have displayed on this screen.
Slick.
Now, all Windows CE devices take the key things from Windows on the desktop that make it really easy to interact and get information. So it's a smaller device, but you'll notice one of the things that we did keep was the Start button. And what that means is that simply by tapping the Start button, you're able to get menus, select your applications, and very easily get started. Now, all Palm PCs include Pocket Outlook, and that is your calendar, your contacts, your inbox, and your tasks. We also include 2 note-taking applications. One is Note Taker. You can think of it replacing your notepad, for example. The other is a voice recorder, which actually lets you talk into a Palm PC.
Oh, excellent.
And that saves that voice note as a WAV file. It can be played back on your Palm PC, played back on the desktop, or even sent as an email attachment off to somebody else in your office or to a friend.
Wow.
And finally, we include a channel browser that lets you take web content with you to view offline. So let's go ahead and look at the calendar application so you can get a sense of what these applications look like. As you'll notice across the top, we still have our menus. So all the things that you need to do are right there, easily at hand.
Oh, this is wonderful.
And just simply by tapping a button, now I've switched over to the button view. Now, right today we're looking at April 4th. This is today. You can see right now I'm in Microsoft Studios doing Microsoft Extreme. And we feel that it's important to have information be available only one tap away. So simply by tapping over here on the triangle, I get a lot more information that might have been attached to a meeting request or a meeting note that I have in my desktop. And you can see here I've got Show Auto PC and Palm PC, and then my trivia question just to remind me in case I'd forgotten. We also do include a number of other views of information with each of the applications. So for example, here I can take a look at my week view to see free and busy times. We have a month view as well so that I get a sense of what's available through the month, and even a year view for calendar planning. This is a nice high-resolution 240 by 320 screen, so you're able to get a lot of detail of it, other information.
Now, how did the designers bring it down to such a small size? There's so much information that you gather and so much within the interface on your PC, and yet they've encapsulated it into this palm-sized screen. How did they do that?
Well, Windows CE is a modular operating system, and what that means is that they can take the key pieces that are needed for small devices such as this and basically do a design that's very simple and very easy for anyone to get the key information that they need. But this is also the same operating system that'll be in set-top boxes and entertainment systems that you'll hear more about later this year.
Oh, great.
Now, just to show you how easy it is to put information into one of these devices, we're going to go into the Note Taker application.
Okay.
And as you can see here, we've got lines indicating that I'm in what's known as ink mode. And with that, I can simply just go ahead and write the way that I write, or I could do a drawing, for example. And this will synchronize back up to the desktop into a Word file or an RTF file as a Windows meta file. So basically, this will synchronize back to my desktop applications or as a note, for example, in Outlook on my desktop.
Excellent.
We also include an input panel area, and right here I'm going to show you a handwriting recognizer, but we also have a soft keyboard as well.
Okay.
Now, one of the nice things about our input method here is that sometimes if you use some other portable devices, you might have had to learn a special character set, what's known as a Unistore character set, and we support that. But we also provide what we call a natural character mode. This is very helpful for people like me, where I just basically want to print the way that I learned how to print in school, and as you can see, I've just done that. I was starting to write meeting notes. But we've also have something called word completion, where you'll see it suggested word meeting. I simply tap it, and it completes the word for me.
That's excellent. So you don't have to spend the time writing out the word.
No, you don't. In fact, we include over 14,000 words in our predictive dictionary. And if you have a new word that's not there, it gets added automatically.
You're kidding.
Finally, the last thing that I want to show you is how easy it is to take web content with you on the road. Here we have our mobile channels. And right before I came to the studio, I synchronized with my desktop. Right now we're looking at a story from MSNBC, but I've also, just for fun, went out to the comics channel. I happen to be an avid Kathy fan, so I brought along a Kathy comic here talking about diets. But one of the nice things that this shows is just this great high-resolution screen. You can even see the curls on her hair.
Exactly. Now you mentioned, and you showed us the cradle as far as how it syncs up with the PC, but and it's designed to be a companion. What if you don't have your cradle available? What's another way that the information can get between the two devices?
Well, if you don't have your cradle available, all Palm PCs have an infrared port.
Okay.
And so for notebooks and PCs that have infrared, you can use the infrared for synchronization. The other thing is that many people travel, and we provide full support for RAS, so that if you have a modem, and in fact, all Palm PCs have a nice little compact flash slot. There are going to be compact flash size modems that can just pop into the top. You can actually dial into your email from the road and synchronize with your desktop and get information onto these devices. You may recognize these cards. They're used to store information today, maybe with digital cameras, and now they'll be available to work with these small devices as well.
That's exciting. Now I know that there's one word that I love about how the information passes between them. What is it that you call it?
Oh, we call it squirting. And if you've got a Palm PC and your friend has a Palm PC or a handheld PC or even the Auto PC that you saw just a moment ago, I could squirt an address, for example, between two devices, as well as squirt it up to my desktop.
Oh, that's exciting. Now, will I be able to buy a Microsoft Palm PC?
Actually, what Microsoft makes is the operating system and the core applications. The Palm PC products themselves are being produced by a number of manufacturers, including Casio, Everex, Philips, and a number of other companies, and they'll be available later this month in the stores.
The biggest challenge for a technology company like Microsoft or any technology firm is the pace at which technology is changing. Every day there's new breakthroughs, whether in fundamental science or in applied technology, and any one of those changes could completely change the world as we know it. That's true for us as individuals, but it's especially true if you're a technology company, because for a technology company, you really have got to worry about is my stuff up to date? Am I innovating at the right rate? Are the things which I do really well going to be relevant? You could invent the world's best buggy whip and continue to make the best buggy whips, but if the damn buggies aren't there, you're stuck. When we started Microsoft Research, people thought we'd be unsuccessful for two reasons. One is they said you'll never hire great researchers because great researchers work for either a university or a company that's been around 100 years. It's true, most did. IBM, AT&T, Stanford, Harvard, they've been around for at least 100 years. The other thing that people said is you'll never get stuff into products. And they said it's been proven. Look at Xerox PARC with inventing personal computers but not capitalizing on it. Or look at IBM or AT&T or other companies. They did great research, but it wasn't obvious it affected their products. Well, now, 8 years almost since we started at Microsoft Research, not only have we hired great researchers, but every major Microsoft product has significant functionality in it that was developed in research. In Office 97, there's the grammar checker that corrects your grammar as you type. Not only is it the best grammar checker ever, but the first to do it while you type. It's made a real change in the way people write. Before Office 97, word processors weren't word processors. They were character processors. They were about putting letters on a page. They knew nothing of the rich structure of language. And that's not the only thing in Office 97. The answer wizard technology that helps users when they're confused or they need help on a topic was developed in research. And this auto summarizer, a variety of other things rely on the strengths that we have developed in our research group. One of the great challenges that we face as computer users is that computers are nothing like our ordinary experience. We have to deal with them with incredible precision. because the damn things do what you tell them to do, whether you meant it or not, or whether you really understood that's what it was or not. Today, users have to go and treat the computer on the computer's terms. We have to learn the commands that the program expects. If we do it wrong, the program objects or does something wrong. We can't communicate with the computer the way we communicate with each other. We can't speak to it or have it speak to us. It can't see us. It doesn't learn. All of these capabilities are very fundamental, not only to using the computer every day, but fundamentally to the user interface. Our goal over the next 5 years is one by one to take those things and make them true. So we want computers that can speak and can be spoken to and will understand. We want computers that have a degree of learning and a degree of softness and about the commands. So instead of doing exactly what they tell you, they do more what you're likely to mean, as we would if we interact with each other. We need computers that use vision and other techniques to sense where we are in the room. Are we interacting with them? Are we bored? Are we confused? Are we frustrated? I think all of these elements are about making the computer a better partner for humans. And that's really the future of the user interface.
Now on to Outlook.
Great.
Judy,
Well,
show us what you're going to show us.
Really excited to be here today to talk about Microsoft Outlook 98, our premier integrated email client. Now, if you haven't seen Outlook before, it's really a great way to actually manage and organize not only your mail, but also your calendar, your contacts, and your tasks, all within one integrated application. And Outlook 98 is actually the only email and personal information manager on the market today that supports every internet standard out there.
You're kidding.
Bar none.
Wow.
So, but before I jump into what's new in Outlook 98, why don't we just take a quick overview of what Outlook can do for you if you've never seen it before. So when you launch Outlook, this is what you see on your screen. On the left-hand side, we have what we call the Outlook bar. And this gives you quick integrated access to all the different capabilities of Outlook. So you have access to your inbox. So this is a shortcut to where you manage your mail. You also have a calendar. You can manage your own personal appointments or even schedule meetings with others. We also have a great contact manager where you can keep track of all your contacts and activities related to those contacts. And we have a task manager, which helps you manage all your to-do items in a more structured way. So you can see that Outlook is really more than just email. In fact, it really kind of becomes the one window to your world of information. Now, my world these days is consisting mostly of email. And luckily for me, Outlook really provides some great features to help you manage your mail. So if we take a look at our inbox here, you'll see what I mean. One of the biggest challenges these days is just trying to manage the flood of email that we receive. You want to be able to focus in on the right things. So Outlook provides you this auto preview feature that actually shows you the first 3 lines of every unread message. So this makes it really easy to actually scan through your inbox and know what you want to focus in on and what you might save for later to read or even delete right off the bat. So that really helps you manage those important items. And now another common email feature or task item is really just trying to find old messages.
Yeah, that's one of the hard things.
Exactly. You're usually just randomly searching through your inbox, maybe trying to find that folder you filed it in before. So with Outlook 98, we have this new feature called Find that allows you to actually search through your inbox the way you would search on the web. Very simply, all you have to do is type in a name or any word that you want to search for, and I can go ahead and click Find Now, and it will automatically filter through my inbox and find all items that contain Jeff. So here I have a Jeff Weems, and I have a Jeff Smith. And if I actually open up this email message from Sunil, you'll notice here I actually have this Jeff in the text of the message too.
So what's interesting there is in the past, like with Outlook 97, for example, I've used Find, but I have to go through a cumbersome dialog box in which I either have to select, am I going to look in the who sent it, or am I going to look in the subject, am I going to look in the text? So this combines it all into one?
Exactly. And it does it all in one easy search, but you still have access to that Find dialog that you had in 97. So you can create more complex searches, but we found that most of the people are going to be doing their searches on their Find, their subject, or in the text. So we did it all right here, right up front.
That's excellent.
Now, another great feature in Outlook 98 is also this Organize tool. When I click this Organize tool, you notice that I provide a lot of the great features of Outlook to help you organize your information in one easy place. And it does it in the way you like to work. So, for example, a lot of people like to be able to create rules to actually automatically process or filters, to automatically process mail items as they come in your inbox and go to another folder. But if you're anything like me, out of sight means out of mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's not in my face, I don't deal with it. So I really love this new feature in Outlook 98 called Using Colors so that I can actually color code my incoming email. So for example, if I have mail messages coming from my boss, Aaron, that I always want to see when I come in the office, I want to make sure I catch hold of these items, I can actually color code it in red, or if I want to save red for my overdue items, I might choose another bright color like blue. So I can choose blue, hit Apply Color, you'll see now that all mail messages from Aaron are in the color blue.
Now, it's not just incoming messages, because filters, right, apply just to incoming messages so that when they come through, then they get filtered out of sight, out of mind, like you said. This applies to those that are already in your inbox as well?
Exactly. So if you have like 100 items and you just want to find that one particular item from someone, highlight it in color, scroll and find that color.
Wow.
So a real easy way.
Okay.
So using colors and rules help manage messages are basically important to you. But what about those you don't care about?
Oh, that four-letter word.
Spam, that's correct. Junk email has really become a problem for a lot of people these days, and with Outlook 98, we provide you tools to also help you manage this junk mail. Basically, the Outlook team has analyzed thousands and thousands of spam mail messages.
Did they have to receive them?
Yeah, unfortunately, but it's better for everyone. So we actually created filters to actually filter out the spam mail based on common headings like free, free, free. And so when you actually filter your inbox, you can color code those junk mail messages or move them to another folder like deleted items and trash them immediately.
Or special offers.
Oh, yeah, that works too. But also if you're getting mail from maybe some annoying neighbor or coworker who's sending you a lot of mail that's jokes and you don't want to read it anymore, you can actually create them and add them as spam mail as well and just add them to your junk senders
So
list.
you just right-clicked on that person's name and then chose that?
Yep.
That's handy. How many of you guys are going to use that? Not that there's anything wrong with it.
So those are some of the features to help you manage and organize your mail.
Now you know that friends are going to inundate you with joke mails now.
Well, I'll spam them out. It's okay. Now, as I mentioned before, we're also going to be providing complete internet standard support. But rather than go through the full alphabet soup of acronyms that we do support, let me just show you what we do for HTML mail. We will support HTML mail now so that you can actually create email messages that are just as rich and dynamic as what you currently find on the web. In fact, you can actually send a full web page rather than just a link to a URL. So here's an example from a friend of a mail message from the cnet.com site.
Okay.
So this is actually a full website right here in the mail message. I actually have the animated graphics here. I even have live hyperlinks that when I'm connected to the internet, I can click, launch my browser, and actually browse the web from there.
Now, I work on the road a lot, and I take my laptop with me, and I'm not connected for a significant amount of time. So am I going to have to be connected in order to see emails like this from friends?
No, absolutely not. In fact, because we support MHTML, you'll actually get all the pictures and all the text just the way you would see it on the web, whether or not you're connected after you receive the message.
That is excellent.
So we also leverage HTML in another way. Outlook 98 actually makes it easy for you to personalize your email. So if you want to send a mail message and you want to spice it up a little, you can use stationery. So with Outlook, we provide you the ability to actually choose a new mail message using any station that's included with Outlook or ones that you want to create for yourself. So here's a balloon party invitation I can choose to use, or I can use a more subdued background like this chessboard background. But my favorite one that I like to use is this one called Tiki Lounge. Now if I select OK here, you'll notice that it opens up a mail message with this custom background. And when I actually start typing, you'll see that I'm actually using a coordinated color and font to go with the stationery.
So it does a whole theme for you.
Exactly. Now after I actually finish composing the message, I can easily address this just by selecting two. You'll see here that I actually have access to all the context in my address book here too. But in case I actually don't have the email address for this person, it's not a problem in 98 because now I can select Find and actually search any public directory service out there like 411 or Bigfoot or InfoSpace and find that person because I'm actually supporting LDAP or the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol now in Outlook 98.
Now, I actually have used 411 to find old high school and college friends. So they're amazing tools that allow you to look up basically anybody across the U.S.
And we're giving you quick access here right from Outlook 98 now. So those long-lost friends don't have to be long-lost no longer.
Actually, the U.S. and Canada, right? And we have some folks in Canada. So hello, Canada.
Now, additionally, Outlook 98 is going to support multiple internet mail accounts. So when I'm done composing this message and addressing it, I can easily send it using whatever internet account I've established for myself. So let's say I use MCI for my personal mail. I can choose to send this using MCI versus AT&T, which I might use for my business mail.
Now, how many of you all have multiple email accounts, like have a work and a home email account? Yeah, a good number. So that's going to be a handy feature. That's awesome.
So those are some of the great features we provide now in our inbox for email. Let's take a look at what we also do in our calendar.
Okay.
In our calendar, you'll see that you're landed here right on today. We are on our eXtreme event. We also have these little mini calendars on the right-hand side. We also provide multiple views of your information too. So if you want to look at your work week, you can click on work week here. We also have a week view that's complete and even a month view. And also, when you go back to your day view, you'll notice here that you can actually print out any of these items too. So if you have information you want to carry with you on the road, if you want to do it on paper, you can do it, or you can use the handheld PC or the Palm PC that Pamela was talking about earlier. Now, creating appointments is as simple as just highlighting the time you want to do something.
Okay.
So let's say this afternoon I actually want to go mountain biking after this event. So I can go ahead and type in mountain biking.
I might join you.
And just like that,
Okay.
I've got an appointment. And if I actually want to move this to maybe 2 o'clock, I can just drag it. And better yet, let's say if I'm really swamped this afternoon, I can even move it to another day just by holding my control key on my keyboard and selecting any day I want to look at side by side. And this is really handy because now I can easily move this appointment and actually know what's better for me in terms of my schedule. So I can make it after my meeting, after work, and move it down here instead.
Wow. So I don't have to guess where, what time. Wow, that's exciting.
Yep, so we really try to make it easy for you to manage your information too. Now, in our terms of our contacts, if you haven't seen our contact manager before, you'll see here that we have this nice address card view. It reminds a lot of people of the Rolodexes, so you can just scroll through and find the contact that you want. And if you open up an existing contact, you'll see that Outlook actually stores a lot of rich information too. So not only do I have a person's name and their title and their address, but I also can store up to 18 different phone numbers. Not that anyone ever has this many, but we store them all if we want.
We do.
Please. And then we also have up to 3 different email addresses, even a person's web page. And you'll notice down here we have this rich text field. So if you don't remember what this person looks like, put in a bitmap, and you can also add in any hyperlinks or attachments that you want related to this particular contact.
And again, because of the Internet Standard support, right, you can either suck in off the web or also publish this as a vCard, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can share all this information out with anyone. We also have in Outlook 98 this new Actions menu, which makes it really easy to manage all the tools that you have related for this contact in one place. So if I want to send a new letter to this contact, I can do it right here and actually launch Word's Letter Wizard. I can also send email to this contact from here. And in Outlook 98, we have this new feature called Flag for Follow-up, that I can actually have Outlook remind me to do something for this contact. So if I want to follow up with this person later, call this person, arrange a meeting, or send an email, or I can even create my own custom flag. So let's say I want to call Dana for artwork next week sometime.
Okay.
This is very similar to the message flag feature that we currently have in Outlook 97. So I can have Outlook remind me to do it on a specific day. But better yet, let's say I just want to take care of this next Friday. I want to do it at around noon. You'll see that Outlook will automatically convert my natural language text into a real date and time.
Wow, so this was what Nathan Myhrvold was talking about in terms of the research and development group developing natural language so that it understands your language. It can take complex algorithms about what you just wrote and come out with the exact date and time. That is an amazing use of the technology.
Yeah, you can do this anywhere in Outlook, not just here in Contacts. So if you want to schedule a meeting for the second Thursday 2 months from now, you can just say second Thursday 2 months from now, and it adds it in your calendar.
What do you guys think about that?
Now, we also have another great feature in Outlook 98 that's called Display Map of Address. Now, when I click this in my contact, it will automatically go out to the internet and actually go up to Microsoft Expedia's website and actually give you an exact map of where this person is.
Wow. Now, actually, I'm product manager for Microsoft Expedia, so I have to be even more excited about this. So this is very slick.
Yeah, this is a really great way to visit those new contacts that you've just added that you've never seen before. Now, rather than fumbling through a lot of maps, find it out on the web first and do it right all from Outlook 98.
Wow. And then you also, with that, you're able to get directions once you finish this. That is very cool.
Yep. So we're really excited about that integration. So those are some of the great things you can do now in your mail and your calendar and your contacts just to make your life easier here in managing your information. But I want to show you one last feature.
Okay.
Now, have you ever come into the office, especially here at Microsoft, where you just got caught up in email?
Many, too many times.
Well, for me, I oftentimes just miss a meeting just because I never switched my calendar first. Well, in Outlook 98, that will never happen again because I have this new feature called Outlook Today. When I click on Outlook Today, you'll see that I have exactly all my information at a glance. I know when I log on in the morning, I know exactly how many mail messages I still have to read, what appointments I might have for today, what ones I need to be preparing for tomorrow, and I even have all my task items. And this is all just HTML. So if you'll notice here, when I actually hover over any of these items, they're all hyperlinked. So I can easily click on one and actually go right into my appointment item without jumping to my calendar first. I can do it all here. I can even click off a task item that I've finished. So if I have dry cleaning that I'm done with, I can just go ahead and click, and it's all done.
Well, I know you're a big fan of Publisher, Suzi.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you're going to be very excited about some of the new features that we added into Publisher 98. We really made it a lot easier to use by automating a lot of the design process. And we worked really hard with some professional designers and started from scratch with all of Publisher's designs. And we include over 1,600 new publication templates in the product.
That's exciting.
That's really exciting. And actually, when you go right into the product, the first thing you see here is the new catalog. And this is a very visual browsing point of all the different publication types and the designs that go with those publication types. So you can really see what you're going to get when you launch the wizard and pick the design that's most appropriate for what you want.
So the wizard before that, I mean, I still like the wizard that was in Publisher 97, but this is amazing because before it was sort of like guess what you're going to get as far as the wizard. It just kind of had a generic image, and then you'd go through the steps. This shows you exactly what you're going to get.
That's right. You can choose the design and layout that you want before you even start the wizard. But we have also added something new, and these are what we call design sets. And these are sets of designs that you see as I scroll through that encompass an entire spectrum of marketing materials that a small business might need, from their letterhead and brochure down to their website as well. So really helps them create a brand identity for their business.
Ah, and have consistency too.
That's right.
Wow.
So let me just go right in and we'll just launch the wizard.
Okay.
And just go right into this brochure and start working on it. Now you notice right away the wizard's a lot more different. It's right over here on the left, and it's more visual, more interactive, and we've also made it a lot more flexible, so it really gives you the power to do the things that you want to do. And these are color schemes, and you can see as I apply a color scheme how this changes the look of my publication. So it really helps me take one of my publisher's designs and then start to create a unique identity for myself just by choosing a color scheme. And you can apply those color schemes across any of publisher's publications. Let's go ahead with Sagebrush here and choose. Then I can go ahead and change the size of my paper if I want to. A lot of the things, the questions that you're asked in the wizard were based on a lot of usability research that we did.
Okay.
So we had people go into their dry cleaner and their florist and everywhere and pick up any flyer or brochure or anything like that they found.
You're kidding, you guys collected all that material?
We collected all sorts of paper output.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had somebody go in and analyze it for the most common sizes of paper, types of things that people included in their materials, forms, and things like that. And those are the questions that we actually added into the wizard. So you can see I can quickly add a response form. And that's on page 2, and then I can finish out, and you can see I've got a generic form over here that I can go in and customize whatever I want. So really, we tried to take a lot of the things that people actually already do and bring those right into the publications. So now that I'm in my publication, I'm just going to go ahead and start typing here.
Okay.
So let's create this for the Terra firm. Oops. And we'll just type in the 1998 planting guide. And you'll notice that as I'm typing, the copy is automatically fitting the space that we've provided. So we've added automatic copy fitting to the product. So in certain areas like headlines, subheads, and things like that, where you want to retain the design parameters of the piece, we actually help you do that by just fitting the copy to that space.
Now, how many of you all have just spent far too much time going through selecting the text and testing different font sizes to see what would fit within a certain space? This is amazing. So it automatically notes the space and changes the font size for you.
That's right. We did that for you. Now let's just go ahead and change a piece of clip art. And this is Publisher's Clip Gallery, which is not new to this version, but we have increased the amount of content. So we've included over 10,000 pieces of clip art. We've added 1,500 photographs. We've added sounds and animated GIFs as well. So with all that content, it's very difficult to find just the piece you want. So everything's indexed so I can quickly find it. You can see how quickly that search just came back.
Okay.
I can scroll through and find a flower I want. Or if I don't find anything I like, I can launch right out here to Clip Gallery Live, and we're posting over 100 new images a month out to the web. So you can find something else that you like there. Let's go ahead and insert that flower. And there I've got a nice looking flower.
Okay.
And the last thing I'm going to do here is insert some text from Word. And you can insert text from Word, Works, or any other common database. And this automatically brings it in. And we have a lot of integration with these products because we know that people who are doing school newsletters or something are collecting a lot of different data from various sources. So we make it very easy for you to import all that data into Publisher. And let me just zoom in right here. And you can see that we've added in some of the Word functionality into Publisher. You'll notice this red squiggly line.
Yeah.
And I can right mouse click and automatically correct that typo. So we've added background spell checking and autocorrect to Publisher.
Oh man, so not only can I work on my text and what have you from Word, but now I can bring my Word doc straight into here without having to work between the two files. That's excellent.
That's right. And we've also added the Office Assistant as well. So so you can ask for help just the way you would as any other Office application. Let's just close him out.
See ya, Clip.
Bye, Clip. And I'm going to zoom back out here. Now I mentioned before that the wizard is a lot more flexible. Well, we've made it so that you can use the wizard at any time during your publication creation process. And what that means is that now that I've got all this content in here, I may not have liked that original design I chose. Well, you now have the flexibility to go back over here and change your design decision. So if I wanted to take a look at some of the other designs and maybe play around a little bit, I can quickly go ahead and just find one that's just right for me.
Excellent.
And I can do the same with color scheme.
Okay.
Or any of the other things that I originally chose at the beginning. So that's a really nice color scheme.
That's excellent. So real quick, sorry we lost you, Tulsa. Welcome back, and I hope you continue to enjoy the publisher demo that we're in the midst of here.
I mentioned during the output phase, we analyzed that output for the most common types of element and content even that people added in their publications. And what we found is that people use the same type of content in all their different publication types, like the history of their company and things like that. So we've made the product much more versatile. So you can now use this product in a variety of different ways. For instance, I could use this brochure and print it out and use it as a handout on my counter at my store. Or I can go ahead and just add in a customer address. And then I can quickly use Publisher's mail merge functionality and mail this out to my mailing list as well. I haven't changed any of the content. It's all still here.
And you didn't have to copy and paste or anything.
Right.
Wow.
It's just laid out in a different manner for me. But we've taken that a step further as well. You can now take this brochure or a newsletter and automatically convert it to a website. So I'm just automatically taking all the content that's in this brochure, I'm converting it to a great looking website, complete with hyperlinks, and you can see when I scroll in here, it's got a nice web background for me as well. And then I can go ahead and work in my website, just like I would my printed publication.
What do you guys think about that?
It's pretty cool, huh? Let's go ahead and just add a couple web-specific things. You know, I can go ahead and just add in another hyperlink if I want to. Because we've added some hyperlinks, but we know that people want to go ahead and add further things. And we can do things like change things like this to price list. And this is a little more of the automation in the process. You can see when I scroll through, this automatically updates every page for me. So really tried to automate the things that people don't need to spend the time working on, so they can get right to work on the content. I mentioned earlier that we include animated GIFs. Let's go ahead and play one of those because those are really fun. And believe me, I've played every one of these because I just think they're just so much fun. So really what we've done is we've just added some simple animated GIFs, and you can notice that they're just very fun and exciting. But let's go ahead and find a flower so we match our theme.
And these two are going to be in the Clip Gallery Live on the website?
That's right. They'll be updating those as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and just choose this flower in here. And I've got a nice looking flower. And then let's go and we'll do one more thing over here on page 4 where my form is. This is the form that I added into my brochure, but it automatically came into my website. Well, it's great form, but you know, you want to get the data back. So we've made it easy for you to go ahead and just submit this, and I'll just have all my data sent to me in email. Then I type in my email address, and this will just come to me in email in comma delineated, and I can import it into Excel.
You're not going to tell everybody your email address, Kelly?
No, I'm not going to do that today. Now, the last thing I want to do is go ahead and preview my website in my browser. So I'm just going to bring up my default browser, and you can bring up any browser you have on your system. And this automatically lets you check all your hyperlinks and check the animations. And you can see I've got a little bee buzzing around in my little flower here. And really just make sure that everything works. You can see that this hyperlink works so that when you go to post it, you know, you're assured that everything works.
Right.
I'm going to do one last thing here. Okay. I'm going to go back the other direction. We're not sure how people are going to work, if they're going to want to update their website more often and then go ahead and print out their monthly newsletter. So we've made the product very versatile, so you can go back the other direction as well. I can go back, start in a website and go back to a brochure or newsletter. And let's just not save those and move into this newsletter. And this takes all my content from my website and converts it into a really great looking newsletter for me. And you can see there's my newsletter, and I can even print that out, do whatever I want, make any further adjustments, and then once again, add in a customer address and use it as a mailing piece as well.
That's gorgeous.
So you saw how quick and easy it was for me to create 3 publications, and I can use those in a variety of different ways without having to re-enter content, and Publisher 98 just really makes your life easy that way.
Now, one thing I want to clarify about the Wizard, because as I said before, I'm an extensive Publisher user, and one of the things with the Wizard in the past is that you step through it and it just leaves you. So I just want to clarify that it's always there. You can jump right back into any spot within the Wizard. That is outstanding as far as getting things done.
That's right. And if you want the extra workspace, you can always hide the Wizard and go back to it at any time just by showing it.
It's time to take charge of your finances, and I have just what you need. It's called Microsoft Money 98 Financial Suite, and it's a complete all-in-one solution for managing your finances. Everything from daily activity to investing to broad financial planning. Okay, and unlike other personal software programs, all of the components in Money 98 are fully integrated. So it automatically links changes you make today to your long-term plans, so they're always current and accurate.
Wow.
And it means you have to enter less data.
That's a good thing.
And finally, we've included intelligent features and easy access to new internet information, so you can always make the smartest financial decisions.
Awesome.
Want to take a look?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the first place we land is Money's financial homepage,
Okay.
Which shows off our new web-style interface. This was designed to give you both personal and actionable information as soon as you enter the program. So, for example, in the center section, you see you get a customizable snapshot of your finances, and it looks like you have some credit card debt there. Suzi.
We'll keep that to ourselves, or all 38,000 of us.
On the right-hand side is our new headlines feature on the web, which pushes current internet information right to you.
Okay.
And some of the sources is Microsoft's investor website, our Money Insider website, and also news from the product team.
So if
we
you
can
guys
give
have
you
updates.
Sure,
Okay,
we can
awesome.
tell you. Over on the left-hand side is one of the most exciting features in Money 98 Financial Suite. It's called Advisor FYI. And what it does is it provides personalized financial guidance to help you make smarter decisions.
Excellent. Now, a quick clarification here.
Sure.
This is on the web, or this is on my local PC?
We're all on our local PC right now.
Okay.
But I'll show you how we interface in different parts of the program with
Awesome.
the internet.
Awesome.
So the way that this thing works is Advisor FYI is always working in the background. It knows your money file, it's pulling in information from the internet, and it puts 1 and 2 together and tries to provide suggestions to help you make better decisions.
Show me.
Well, right now, let's take a look. It's saying it's tax season, and one of the things you can do is you can go to the tax estimator worksheet in the program and find out, will I owe this year, or will I get a refund?
Let's hope the latter.
Okay, to show you a couple of the features in the program, we're going to do a little scenario. It's a little scary. Are you ready for this? Okay, we're going to pretend that you have a 5-year-old son named Justin, and you have done nothing to help him plan for college. All right. So I'm going to show you how you can set that up and correct it. So if you want to learn about many financial topics, such as planning for college, you can go to the Money Insider section of the CD.
All right.
Ta-da, here we are.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we provided over 100 different articles on top financial topics such as insurance or retirement, or in this case, college.
All right.
And we also give you 4 different worksheets down below.
Okay.
Such as the home worksheet, which lets you figure out how much of a home you can afford.
Okay.
Now the neat thing is, every time you go to the internet, we refresh these articles and give you new ones and update any of the rate information down below.
Okay.
Such as tax rates.
All right.
I know. I'm nervous.
All right. It's a little too close to home right now, but that's all right. That's all right. We're going to deal with this, or else I'm going to go to therapy later.
We're going to go to the college section. We're going to choose this financial aid article.
Okay.
And as we're reading about financial aid for Justin, your son, you'll notice that in the sidebar, Advisor FYI pops up again, providing, again, relevant information.
Wow.
In this case, your net worth, and I think you might need some aid based on that number, Suzi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You sure we can't just apply this to my brothers? I mean, they have kids in this range. All right. Hey, guys.
At the bottom of every article, we give you next steps, and one of the action items we can do is to go to Money's Planner. That's what we're going to scoot to next. What we do in the Goal Planner is we allow you to determine if your current finances will let you reach those long-term important goals.
Okay.
So remember when I said earlier on, all of the components are integrated?
Yeah.
This is where a lot of that action takes place. So we'll see how that works. You can do 3 basic things.
All right.
The first is you can set up lifetime goals and events, like college, retirement, a second home, get out of debt, and thirdly, set up a budget and savings plan.
Okay.
So we need to set up college.
One of these 3 things works for us,
All right,
and we'll let everybody out there guess which one.
Okay, so I'm in the lifetime goals and events, and I've got a couple things I want to happen in my life already.
Okay.
Down below, I can choose new goal.
Okay.
And there are 21 different wizards to model common events, such as buying a car, change in future income. I'm going to choose the college tuition wizard.
Okay.
Justin's in here already, and we'll go ahead and pretend he'll go at 18, and it'll only be for 4 years. We'll be an optimistic, and that college now currently costs about $25,000, and based on some information, we expect the rate to grow at about 6% above inflation.
All right, this assumes he's not going to go to the University of Washington, which is a big jump.
Okay, you're holding your hands. One of the nice things is we do a lot of work for you in these wizards, such as you may not have thought, if Justin leaves my house, therefore my house income, I will be spending less on him. So it automatically says, well, maybe your living expenses will go down by about 10%.
We'll just feed him less.
We'll feed him less. Okay. Voila, we're all done, and Justin's set to go to college.
Okay.
But what does this mean, really, on all the things we want to do in our life? Every time you make a change, there's an adjustment to your long-term forecast. And this at the very bottom here says that you cannot retire in style. So we need to fix this problem.
This is a problem.
Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.
Hello, fix this. what we can do is we can go to the budget and savings plan
Okay.
and fix this situation.
Okay.
Our budget area incorporates the 2 golden rules of budgeting, which you know are pay debt off first
Oh, yeah.
and pay yourself first.
Oh, yeah.
So you know we've lined it up so that debt and savings comes before what you can spend.
Okay.
We also let you do top-line budgeting and detailed budgeting. So what we're going to do is pretend at the top level, we're going to go down here to our expenses.
Okay.
And I'm just going to assume I've gone into the details and I've found about $300 that I can trim for our current spending.
More food. We're all going on a diet.
Right. And I'm going to put that towards long-term investments instead. So let's take a look at what that does for our
We're
future.
going to buy Microsoft stock.
Yeah. Look, you look good. Okay,
Oh,
you're all
yes.
set. Things are looking good. But you have $300. So what do you want to do to it?
Invest it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go.
Stock.
Yeah.
There, right answer.
I'm going
Yes.
to take you to the investments area within the product,
Okay.
which is where you can manage your portfolio, and you can also do some interaction with Microsoft's investor website.
Okay.
Okay, so we've added some new functionality for our avid investors, or
Oh,
the
yeah.
more common avid trackers in our user body. There's 6 different views that you can use, and you can also download 6 months worth of quote information for a nice rich historical view. In terms of how we integrate with investor website, you can link directly from the sidebar. You can down below get online quotes, or you see this icon?
Yeah.
This tells me that there is news on one of my investments, in this case Microsoft. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take us out to the internet. We're actually going to go to investor and check out what that news is all about. So now we're on the investor website. It's www.investor.msn.com.
Excellent.
And you can see there are some press releases on Microsoft. And I could click on historical charts if I wanted to take a peek at how
Wow.
our stock is done.
Okay.
Investor offers tons of free information on tracking your investments, getting investment ideas, and then actually researching and drilling down on those investments. They've just launched a new version a couple weeks ago, so it's a great time to take a peek.
That's exciting.
So there's tons of free information. They also offer premium services. For instance, they have a place called the Strategy Lab, where you can see 6 different investors invest a mock $100,000 portfolio
Oh, wow.
and read their journals and get ideas for your own uses.
Exciting.
They've also, you can see down here, they have Advisor FYI. I'm just going to type in my password.
Everybody
That's gonna take me.
watch.
Yeah, now you know what it is.
This is say it out loud, Julie. Come on.
This will take me to one of the premium services, which is Advisor FYI, and similar to what you see in Money, it provides personalized guidance on your investments. So
And
here we are.
Relevant, like related to the investments that it sees that you have, so it's intelligent,
Ones
right?
I have and ones I'm watching as well, which is really neat.
Sort of voyeurism in stock trading.
You got it. And users of Money 98 Financial Suite automatically get a 6-month free subscription to those investor premium services.
Wow, 6 months. That's awesome.
That's good. Okay, 2 more things to show you.
Okay.
The first is something called the monthly report.
All right.
Based on user feedback, people want a kind of a consolidated look at their finances. So we create the monthly report. It's automatically generated the first of the month, and you get a little link on your financial homepage saying, I'm ready, and you can either view it online or you can print it out. It does things like tell you your income versus your expenses, any checks that may have been out of sequence during the month, any advisor FYI alerts that you may not have been able to do, we group them here so you can get that advice one time.
Excellent. So
Which
it's
is really neat.
it's at your beck and call.
There you go. So this is some of the new features we've done in Money 98, but we also want to do things to make our regular features more useful to our users. A great way to save time in Money is to download your statements from banks, credit cards, and brokerage. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. We're actually going to, within Money, go to our checking account. It's our Woodgrove Bank Checking.
Okay.
I'm going to download a statement in here.
Okay.
We developed a new technology called Active Statements Technology. And the neat thing is it allows you to bring in that information without ever having double transactions. So I can download the statement again and again. It's smart enough to know what's already in my account. So let me show you how it works.
How many of you guys have online banking accounts, online accounts? A few? All right, a few guys. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you've done this thing where when you download your account, you get duplicate entries, and you have to go in and clean it up yourself, right? Kind of a pain. So this is what it answers, right?
This is what it answers, and I'll show you a couple side benefits. So here we're going to go to our website, and here's the statement that we want to download.
Okay.
I choose the download to Money, and it automatically says, would you like to open it or save it? I don't want to worry about saving it on my hard drive.
No, because you need to find it.
Open it immediately.
Okay.
It would open Money if Money wasn't already open, and since it is, it just flips me back and says, all set. It puts an alert over in the left-hand side saying, hey, you have a statement. Do you want to read it?
You bet.
I say, sure. Bring it up. Here are those 6 transactions that I just imported. I say, okay, update my account register. And it's smart enough, says, hey, 4 of these already exist. You don't want to bring them back in and do duplicates.
Wow.
So I say, okay, fine. And then it takes me here. Another thing is it automatically categorizes the information. so I don't have to do that, which is really nice. So it's entered in my account, and I'm all set.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to do that today.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you're all set. Now your finances are completely in order, and Justin can go to college, and
thank goodness.
You're financially fit.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is BJ Whalen, and my partner in crime here is Mr. David Poland. And together we're going to present to you what we think is the definitive Windows 98 demo. We're actually going to do a shootout between Windows 95 and Windows 98. Dave here is going to be our resident Win 95 expert. He's got a Windows 95 PC, and I've got my Windows 98 PC. So before we get going with the demo, though, why don't we go with one slide?
BJ, I thought you were going to do a slideshow with like 10, 15 slides.
We're actually going to do a virtual demo using 10 slides, but we figured, you know, for these guys, we'll do a real demo.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So what is Windows 98 all about? Very simply, Windows 98 is the successor to Windows 95 that works better and it plays better. It works better because it's easier, it's faster, and it's smarter. And it plays better because it's got great gaming capabilities, great platform for entertainment, and ultimately you're going to see that you can do a whole lot more with your PC than you could before. So Dave, why don't you start us off with how it's easier?
Okay, great. On this PC, I'm running Windows 95. And most of you are going to be familiar with the classic Win95 user interface. Icons on the desktop, the taskbar, and the start menu. Okay? Now, but when people upgraded from Windows 3.1 to Windows 95, you know, it was hard for people because they had to learn a whole new way of working with their PC. Now, however, going from Windows 95 to Windows 98, people are going to be very happy to know that the look and feel is quite similar. And there's going to be a very low learning curve in order to learn things that will let you be more productive with Windows 98. Good news is that we've made the interface even easier and more powerful by integrating all the cool enhancements and innovations that we put together with Internet Explorer 4.0 and brought them forward into Windows 98. So BJ, why don't you give us a look at the new look and feel?
Okay, great. So I'm going to show you very briefly the Windows 98 desktop, and you're going to see it's very easy to find the information that you want. So let's just take a look here. I'm on my desktop, and I'm going to go into my computer. And as I hover over my C drive, you'll see that immediately off to the left of the screen, it tells me exactly, hey, how big is my hard drive and how much free space I have left. So this is a whole lot easier to get this information if you compare it to Windows 95, where you would have to somehow intuitively know that you would right-click on the C drive, then go to Properties, and then it would tell you how big your hard drive was and how much free space you had.
Okay.
So you also see we've extended this functionality to other icons as well. If I go to the printers folder, it tells me, you know, what that's about. If I go to the control panel, the same thing. Now let me surf through into my documents. The nice thing here is that as I hover over a particular file, I get a thumbnail sketch of what that file is. Again, this makes it easier to find out that information because you can figure out whether that's the document you want to open without first having to open it, especially if you've got like multiple files under a single folder.
And so you can see a lot of different formats here.
Yeah, we go to a TIFF, generate a box shot, PowerPoint, I get the first slide, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. Now what about internet integration?
Well, you see right now I'm looking at the contents of my local hard drive. What if I wanted to go to the internet? Well, in the past, you would need to launch a separate browser to actually go to the internet. Well, with Windows 98, you don't need to do that anymore if you don't want. You can actually just type in a web address right at this address bar here. So I'm just going to go to the Windows 98 website. I just type in the address, and I'm there. And one of the things you also noticed, hopefully, was that there was autocomplete, so it just remembers the most frequently used sites that I've been to. Now, everyone's familiar with the back and forward buttons from navigating on the web. We can extend that functionality so that when I go back to look at my local hard drive, I just hit the back button, and I go right back to where I was before. Cool. So it's a whole lot easier. We've also made it easier by incorporating this functionality right into the taskbar, which is this gray bar at the bottom. I've got this address bar where I can just type in a web address, so I don't even need to launch an application to go where I want to go. So let's just go to, say, Yahoo. Or I could type in something on my local computers. For example, I could just type in dial-up. I just do DI, and it gets dial-up networking. And I go right to dial-up networking.
Cool. You know, BJ, on Windows 95, it was possible to a certain extent to customize your desktop by, for example, taking an icon on the desktop and dragging it to your start menu. And then you could actually see that icon appear on the start button. But beyond that, customization was hard. Let me just show you how hard it was. And in order to customize, I'd have to right-click on the taskbar, click on Properties, go into Start Menu Programs, go into Advanced. You know, for a lot of people, they didn't know this was available, and it's just too difficult for people. So, has Windows 98 made it easier for me to customize the look of the desktop to the way I work?
Exactly. Yes, it has. With Windows 98, you can actually customize and drag and drop just about anything on the Start menu. So let's take a look here. Here's my Start menu. And I'm going to go into Programs and Accessories. And see down here this little Entertainment folder? I like to get all these little goodies here, but I hate how it's buried. Yeah. So now with Windows 98, I can just drag and drop this right up to the top here. And immediately it's right there. So it's much, much easier to access. So again, it's very easy to customize the Start menu.
Cool. Now, can you make it even easier than that?
Well, yeah. A couple things I want to show you is down here we've got what we call the Quick Launch toolbar, and it allows me to have shortcuts to common files and programs that I want to launch. One thing that's on here is this little Minimize All button. For example, I've got two windows up here. If I wanted to get to my desktop, I'd need to minimize both of them. Or I can just hit this button, and it immediately brings me right to my desktop. And now, let's say I want to add my favorite productivity application, Flight Simulator, down to this Quick Launch toolbar so that when my boss walks by, I can launch it immediately and he knows I'm practicing the demo.
Excellent. I'm sure you're highly productive.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. Now, BJ, when I'm on the, information I like to get from the web, a lot of very frequent, periodic kind of information like news stories, stock tickers, that sort of thing. I wish it was a lot easier with Windows 95 to get that information without having to make frequent calls out to the internet. Does Windows 98 make it easier for me?
Yeah, it does. Windows 98 actually supports a revolutionary technology which allows you to actually receive web content without using your phone line. Instead, we actually send the web data through the TV signal, and in order to get this on your PC, you do need to add a TV tuner card to your PC, and then you just take your cable feed, or you can even take rabbit ears, and you just plug it into your PC. It looks kind of funny, but it works great. And you're off and ready to go.
Now, what kind of TV tuner cards are we talking about?
Well, right now I've got an ATI All-in-Wonder Pro TV tuner card in here, and it allows me to process this data automatically.
Okay. Now, does this mean I can think of like the TV tuner card as almost like another kind of modem?
Well, yeah, except it's a one-way modem. It just receives data. You can't send data back, and that's because broadcast, by definition, is one-to-many communications. Okay. So all that TV signal that's coming out, it can process it. So let me show you how this application works. The application itself is called Wavetop, and it's going to ship in Windows 98. And what it does is it allows me to receive the latest content automatically. So you see here I've got the top story, which just came in this morning, about the Brewers' Valentine flexing his muscles. Now let me show you some of the other things you can do. Let's go to the Wall Street Journal interactive site. So what you see here is I'm actually getting the latest news from the Wall Street Journal interactive edition, which was delivered to me through my TV site. And you can get other common websites such as USA Today, ZDNet, things like that.
Now, does this information cost me anything?
No, it doesn't. It's absolutely free. It comes through the PBS channel, and we know that 98% of all U.S. households have access to PBS either through their cable or through rabbit ears. And so as long as you have PBS and you got that TV tuner card in Windows 98, it's absolutely free.
Amazing. Now, with all this cool information coming down automatically to my desktop, do I have to be worried about my hard disk filling up?
That's a great question. You can actually customize and control the amount of space that this application takes. And that's by selecting which content buckets you want. So for example, for the content I've selected, right now it needs about 23 megabytes.
Right.
And as it reaches that limit, what happens is it'll actually overwrite the new stuff so it doesn't take up more than 23 megabytes. And then by selecting different things, and I can uncheck this, for example, that'll then start to take up less content going forward.
Okay.
So again, the ultimate benefit here is that it's a great mechanism for getting subscription-like content on the web. Things like the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, that comes on a daily basis where I just want to make sure it's always there for me when I wake up or whatever.
Okay.
Great. So that's how Windows 98 is a whole lot easier. Let's start talking about how Windows 98 is smarter. And let's start out with the help system. And just so we know where we came from, Dave, why don't you take us through the Windows 95 help system?
Okay. I've got my Windows 95 PC. I recently bought a new printer, but I had problems printing. My documents wouldn't print. So it made sense for me to go into the help system in Windows 95 to see if I could get some relief. So I went in, and let's go into the index. I'm going to type printing, see what the system has to say. And it looks like there's a troubleshooter. Let's open this up. And okay, the information is okay, but it says here, what's wrong? It says my document didn't print at all. So let's see what kind of troubleshooting information we have. It says, try printing a test page. I already know my document doesn't print. Like, BJ, does Win98 give me any more value?
Yes, it does. So let's take a look at the Windows 98 help system. You're going to see that, number one, it's a whole lot more comprehensive. It's more thorough, and also it's just a whole lot easier to use. So here's my Windows 98 help system, and the first thing you see is that it's divided into two panes. So as I type in something I want to search for, I can see not only the list of items that are available, but I can also then continue to look at the content that I've selected for if I change my mind.
And there's a lot more information.
Yeah, let's see what happens. It says Win98 print troubleshooter. What type of problem are you having? My document didn't print. That's what you were having. Okay, what are you printing to a network printer or a local printer? So what you see here, it's asking me a very detailed set of questions. And in fact, these are the questions that if you were to call up Microsoft support on the telephone, these are the questions they would ask you because this is what they need to know to help solve your problem.
Right.
And so we've incorporated that troubleshooting process into the help system so you don't have to call Microsoft support if you don't want to. Now, so you can imagine this is going to make it a whole lot easier to solve problems. Now, we all know that as good as we make the help system, there are always going to be times when help just isn't good enough. And there are a lot of reasons there. Frankly, one of the biggest reasons is that once we ship the CD, the help system is static. We can't add any new information to it because it's burned on the CD and the CD is already shipped.
Right.
But we continue to learn a lot, especially as we ship the product and then customers call up and we learn from them about new ways to do things, easier ways to troubleshoot things.
Just like with Win95, it's been 3 years since we've had an
Exactly.
update.
So how can we incorporate all that learning and deliver it to the customer without them having to actually call us up if they don't want? Well, you see we've got this web help button right here in the help system. So I click on that, and then I'm going to click on this link to support online, and it takes me directly to the Windows 98 support site on Microsoft.com. And then I can just type in my question. You notice I'm just going to type in, I cannot print, very easy, familiar natural language, and it gives me a list of all the latest articles on printing with Windows 98.
Right. I know it's a natural language, so it means you don't have to know any sort of cryptic commands to get information.
Or syntax, like I need a comma or a semicolon for and, or. So it's a whole lot easier to troubleshoot things.
Okay. Now, BJ, our support engineers also tell us that some of the most common reasons for support calls relate to your PC or your PC accessories not really working properly because of obsolete or broken device drivers, or perhaps service packs for the operating system that have been available but haven't been installed. And people don't know these things are available or don't really know how to find them. Now, can Win98 help you keep your PC updated?
Yes, it can. We've got a new feature called Windows Update. And what Windows Update is it's a site on the Windows website, and it basically keeps track of the latest system files related to Windows 98, including service packs, bug fixes, and also drivers for like sound cards, video cards, whatever. And what happens is that you can actually go to the site, and then it'll download a little tool that'll scan your computer, figure out the components that you have on your computer, and if there's anything that's more up to date, it'll say, hey, I've got an updated, fix for this, or I've got an updated driver, do you want to install it? So the nice thing is that it automates it. You don't even have to know that there's a problem. It'll just say, hey, I've got something new, do you want it? And you compare this to today where, say you install a new application and it really wants the latest sound card driver and you didn't know that, you'd have to A, know who made the sound card, B, know the model number, C, go to their website, and then get that driver.
It sounds like you have to be a guru to know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So let's take a look at what Windows Update shows us. It tells me it's found a couple updates. It's found the Welcome to the Windows Update wizard, which is basically a temporary demonstration utility, and then it also talks about the Windows 98 RC1 update. Let me just download the Welcome to the Windows Update wizard.
So you just clicked install.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then let's minimize this. In a minute it'll be done. Okay, it says the installation is complete, and you're going to notice that it just popped a welcome.txt message right there on my screen. So that's how easy it is to install updates.
Very easy.
Now, say at a future point you decide, hey, I don't want that update. I want to take it off. Well, you can hit this restore button, and what it will do is keep track of all the things you've added to your system through Windows Update. And at any time later, you can just choose to uninstall it. So I'm going to hit the uninstall button, hit OK, and then you're going to notice that in a second, the welcome.txt message will go away. It's gone. Great.
Fantastic. It's tax season. And tax season means you have to do your tax returns. And I'd like to show you this really cool utility I found in Windows 95 to help me do my return. It's called the calculator applet.
Ooh.
That's right.
Dude, you are so technical.
I'm so technical. In fact, let's just, start up here. Oh, I got a problem. Oh, this is really bad. It says calc.exe is not a valid Win32 application.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't have much time before I have to file. And in order to fix this, am I going to have to reinstall Windows?
Well, the truth of the matter is that a lot of times, frankly, problems like these where one day an application works and then later it doesn't, they're very difficult to diagnose. And so a lot of times our support technicians will actually say, I know this will work, so just do it, and it'll save you time of troubleshooting for 10 hours. Instead, you just reinstall.
Right.
But ultimately, that's not a great solution. So we wanted to fix that in Windows 98, and we've got a great tool that allows you to do that. So let me just first show you that I've got the same problem on my machine. So looking at Windows 98 here, I'm going to try to launch the calculator, and I'm getting the same error message.
Problem, right?
Okay. But we've got this great tool called the System File Checker. And what this does is it will automatically scan my system components for the latest files, figure out if they've been changed, modified, or deleted.
Right.
And if they have, it'll tell me and offer to fix it for me.
Yeah, we found something.
It figured out that calc.exe may be corrupted, and it now offers to restore it for me. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to point it to my original install media. Say OK.
So it takes you right back to your original CD.
Yep. Let's close it, and now let's try to launch calculator. There you go. So you can see that this process allows you to find that needle in the haystack, figure out what went wrong. It's a whole lot simpler to fix problems.
Yeah.
You can keep doing what you want to do.
And if I was using Windows 98, I'd be getting my tax return in on time.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. All right. Another key benefit that we're bringing forward with Windows 98 is a new file system called FAT32. FAT32 has two key benefits. One, it supports hard drives larger than 2 gigabytes without the need to have multiple partitions, such as a C or a D drive. Also, FAT32 stores information more efficiently on your hard disk. Now, on the Windows 95 system here, I'm running a demo utility that simulates how much disk space I would get back on this hard drive if I converted to FAT32. And it says here, I would get back 747 megabytes of hard disk space.
How much are you currently using?
I'm currently using almost 1.8 gigabytes.
Wow. So you're getting over 40% back.
Over 40% back. You can think of that as getting like a hard disk for free.
Well, for the price of Windows 98.
That's it.
Now, what do we think is the average space that most users will get back?
The average space is about 28%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are familiar with OSR2, which is the latest OEM version of Windows 95, you are familiar with the fact that FAT32 originally did ship there. There are two key points we'd like to make, though. Number one is that most PC manufacturers, for a variety of reasons, chose to continue shipping the old file system, FAT16. The second thing is that there was no way to convert from FAT16 to FAT32. So if you had a OSR2 machine that shipped with FAT16, there was no way to convert your data to FAT32. That's the key difference with Windows 98. You have the ability to convert from FAT16 to FAT32 so that you get this disk space back.
Right. And it's a very easy, safe conversion.
Great.
Yeah.
So let's now talk about another way Windows 98 is a whole lot smarter. We've got a new tool called the Windows Maintenance Wizard. And what this does is it automates a bunch of utilities that will keep your PC running at peak performance. So a lot of these utilities actually are a lot of kind of mundane, low-level tasks that most users just never think about doing. But because they never do them, their PC doesn't run as well as it could.
Right. You're talking about things like, scan disk and defrag.
Yeah,
and all
just stuff
these,
that I don't want to think about.
Right.
So what we've included is this utility called the Windows Maintenance Wizard. You literally just run it once, and it'll set up all these little tasks to run on a regular basis going forward, and that's it. And then it'll keep your PC optimized. Cool. So let's just briefly walk you through this. Here's the Windows Maintenance Wizard, and it will offer to, I can do an Express or a custom install. I'm going to do Express. It does give me a time of day that I can select, so if I leave my PC on at night, night's a good time to have these tasks run. And now here's the tasks that it's going to run on a regular basis. It's going to actually speed up my most frequently used programs. It's going to check my hard disk for errors. And it's also going to delete unnecessary files from my hard disk. A lot of users, for example, never think to go into their temp directory, and maybe 6 months, a year later, someone points in there, and there's going to be 100, maybe 200 megabytes of just junk in there.
Right.
So this thing will clean this out on a regular basis. So again, it makes it a whole lot smarter because you don't have to think about maintaining your PC.
Okay.
Now, we mentioned that Windows 98 actually speeds up programs. Let's talk a little bit more about this. It's very simple. Given the same application, same hardware, but a different operating system, Windows 95 versus Windows 98, that application will launch faster. And we're actually going to put this to the test so you can see this. Dave's got his Windows 95 machine, and I've got a Windows 98 machine. These are identical machines. They're the same brand, same processor speed, same RAM, same video card, same network card.
Are you trying to tell me they're identical?
I think they're the same.
Yeah.
So let's put this to the test, and we're going to launch Photoshop, and we're going to do side by side here, and we'll go 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, cool.
Don't even think about cheating. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I think I got to jump on you. Oh, dude.
Done?
Dude, Win98 rocks. Look at that.
Very nice.
So how does this work?
Sorry?
How does this work?
How does this work? That's a great question. Well, we thought about how can we optimize performance going forward with Windows 98. We looked at a couple things. Processor speed. That's not really a bottleneck to performance anymore, so we moved on. Memory. You know, memory is so readily available, not an issue. The biggest bottleneck to performance these days is actually disk I/O. How fast can you get the information on the hard drive loaded up into RAM? And we thought about what goes on in that process and how can we improve it. And we realized that the biggest time sink there is actually the needle on the hard drive searching about on the platter looking for where the information is. So we said, what tools do we have at our disposal that could speed that process up? We said, the disk defrag utility. But we had to enhance it substantially. So with Windows 98, we've enhanced the disk defrag utility so that it actually watches how your programs load. And a program is just a bunch of files. They all need to get loaded. So if we can stick all those files together on the hard drive and put them in the sequential order that they get loaded, they're going to load faster. And that's how this utility works. And that's how you get applications to launch faster. On average, we expect that most applications will launch about 36% faster. And I do want to point out, your mileage may vary. It depends on things like RAM and processor.
Yeah.
But we've seen dramatic benefits across all platforms.
Well, clearly, it was dramatic. Now, BJ, how does Windows 98 know which applications to speed up?
Because it's so smart. Ooh. That's, well, very simply, the more you use an app, the faster it gets. And what it does is it thinks about how do I optimize these apps, and the apps that you use the most, it will optimize to the best extent possible. So if it has to make a trade-off in optimizing 4 different apps, the one that you use the most gets priority.
Okay, so the more you use the app, the faster it gets.
You got it.
Very cool. Now, so far in our demo, we've demonstrated why Windows 98 works better in terms of being easier and smarter, and we started looking faster. Now, you know, we can take this even further. With Win95, we brought forward multitasking into the operating system, and I can multitask to my heart's content. I could start 10 different applications, but you know, I can only see one application really on my screen. Now, I understand that Win98 has some capability to let me see more applications.
You bet. That's because we can support multiple monitors on a single PC. And in fact, we can actually support up to 9 different monitors on one PC.
Wow.
In this case here, I've only got 2. Both of these monitors are attached to my single Windows 98 PC. So let's just show you how the layout is arranged. You can basically think of it as having extended screen real estate. So this is part of my desktop, and now if I just want to drag this over to here, check this out. Ooh. That is so cool.
That is cool.
Okay, I know you guys don't like the word cool, but that is just cool.
That's the last time we use it in the whole demo.
Okay. So let's put you to work and see how this can make you smarter, faster, and even be easier.
At the same time.
You bet. So, for an example, I'm working with multiple applications. I've got Excel here, and I've got Word here. And I've done a whole lot of number crunching. I needed to do a business analysis. I did all that in Excel, okay? That's where I live and die by. But my boss really likes to see it in a very nicely formatted Word document. So I have to go write that Word document. But I want to be able to see...
These documents are critical because you're talking about woksters and widgets and all this sort of thing.
Well, yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Now, the thing is, I want to be able to see the information that I have in the Excel document as I write the Word document, because it's just like having a big desk. I want to spread out so I can see everything.
Right.
So multiple monitors allows me to do that. And then I can even just drag and drop information between the two. So I can just click on this, drag it over to my Word document, and it just automatically copy here, pops in that chart. So immediately, it's very cool.
Very cool. Okay. So how does this work, BJ?
Well, let's show you. I'm going to go into my display properties. And the first thing I want to point out is that actually you need a separate video card for each monitor.
Right.
and they need to be PCI video cards. And the nice thing is that with plug and play, what you would do is you have the one video card in there, you turn off your PC, you open it up, you put in another video card, and plug and play automatically detects it, and you're ready to go.
Okay.
So you can see here, this is monitor 1. Monitor 1.
No doubt about that.
That would be monitor 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you check here, monitor 1, it looks like I'm using that All-in-Wonder Pro that we talked about before, and I can set the color depth, I can set the screen area here, and I can go into advanced, and I can do all these cool things in terms of setting all the things related to this particular adapter.
And those can all be set independently, right?
Right, because then I can go over to monitor 2 and look at this S3 Verge, and I can do the same thing, set it independently. So you have a lot of flexibility, especially web developers. You could have different screen resolutions, 600 by 800 on one, 480 by 640 on the other, so that you could have multiple resolutions and see at the same time what your page looks like as you develop it.
Cool. All right, so far we've demonstrated Windows 98 works better. It's easier, faster, and smarter. It's easier because we've shown complete internet integration with WebView, dynamic and comprehensive help, Wavetop. It's been faster because we can launch your favorite applications faster, support multiple monitors. It's also smarter because we have the maintenance wizard, the FAT32 file system, and the system file checker to keep your PC running at peak performance. Now we're going to take a quick break and take a look at a short video that talks about the daily testing cycle for Windows 98.
The critical path for successfully shipping a Microsoft operating system is testing every detail from the earliest stages of development. The testing of the first build or version of Windows 98 began just 1 month after the launch of Windows 95. A build contains the complete code for the Windows 98 operating system. Today, Windows 98 consists of over 13 million lines of code. The daily cycle for writing, reviewing, adding, and testing code begins each day with a war team meeting. At this meeting, the Win98 development team discusses the current status and plan of action. Nearing the final release of the product, the team frequently meets multiple times a day. In Windows 98, there are over 3,000 customer-driven enhancements, each requiring new or revised code. The code for an enhancement is written and then individually tested. Once it is approved, it is handed off to what's known at Microsoft as the engine room. This is the core lab where every line of code for Windows 98 is compiled into the daily build, verified, then released for review and testing. Input also comes in from another 250,000 beta testers worldwide and is incorporated into the review process. Windows 98 is tested daily on over 1,400 computers, 200 monitors, 800 modems, 250 net cards, 350 sound cards, 1,600 printer drivers, and hundreds of other devices. It is also tested on an average of 120 applications daily. By the time Windows 98 ships, it will have been tested for compatibility with over 5,000 applications from around the world. The objective of this testing and review cycle is to ensure that Windows 98 meets performance, stability, and compatibility standards on PCs worldwide. As a new day begins, so does the daily cycle for Windows 98.
And clap and ready, 6 to go. 6, ready, 2, and go. 2, 2.
Okay, we're back to Windows 98. So in the first part of the demo, we talked about how Windows 98 works better. Now we're going to talk about how Windows 98 plays better. And we're going to talk about better games, better entertainment, and doing more with your PC. Now, BJ, the last part of the first half, we saw how multiple monitor support can make your PC faster and make you more productive. Now, as a PC gamer, I wonder how multiple monitors could make my games more cool.
Well, let's take a look. We're going to show you Flight Sim running on my 2 monitors here. So what you see here is I've got a cockpit view, and then I've also got the spot view so I can see what my flying looks like from the outside. So let's just throttle up here and start going. Hello.
Oh. Did you press dot to get the brakes turned off? All right. Get the throttle going.
Throttle's going.
Yeah. Do we have that plugged in?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Well, it looks like you're not going to get off the ground.
I know. But it's so cool with multiple monitors.
Okay. Well, let's see.
do one thing here.
Do one thing, and then we'll move on if we
have to. We do that.
Have to.
Ooh.
Enable joystick. That probably would be a fine thing.
Let's try this again.
Oh, this is looking much better. Now, how's that for recovery?
Pretty damn good.
Pretty good. First button.
Okay. Got to get up to about 70 or so, and then we'll be able to take off. All right, here we go.
Good.
Flying, notice, without actually using the joystick. But we'll, oops.
Oh, good
Maybe
stall.
I shouldn't use the joystick.
Okay.
So now let's have some fun here. Let's go over to this monitor here. Now say, I've got if you want to be my navigational guy, right?
Okay.
We'll change to the map view so we can see the navigational view of what I'm doing.
Amazing.
I can also change it back, say, to tower view, which is kind of like a far away view, so we can see as I do some cool tricks here.
Yeah, I know you've been practicing these acrobatics.
Yep, and here we go. Oh! So the cool thing is that with multiple monitors, the crashes are just that much more realistic.
Okay. So a cool feature for Windows 98 is support for better games. And games are going to get much cooler because of support for what we call DirectX 5.0 technology, which enables much faster and more realistic 3D graphics in your PC. In fact, Next Generation magazine said last year that the PC platform is going to be the premier platform for games, exceeding the capabilities and popularity of platforms such as the Sony PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. You should think of DirectX 5.0 as being almost like the secret sauce that kind of binds together and enables a lot of the great multimedia capabilities, also enables support for cool new peripherals such as force feedback joysticks. And in the case of the system that we're using for our demo here, we've got 2 daisy-chained Diamond 3D effects graphics accelerators.
Yeah, they're monster 3D 2s. And these are using DirectX 5 drivers. And the nice thing is that you can take 2 of them, you daisy-chain them together. You double the frame rate. You can actually get up to 100 frames per second. It's just
awesome.
Very, very cool.
Very, very cool.
So, we get going in a quick moment.
Yeah. Now, this game is a new game made by a company called Psygnosis. It's called G-Police, and the quality and the speed of the graphics really let the capabilities of Windows 98 speak for themselves.
So, let's go here. So, take a look at these graphics here.
Containers located at Spaceport Holding Area. Proceed to Spaceport Dome.
Let's find some targets here.
Control to Alpha Wing. Follow the waypoints to the spaceport.
All right. Another one.
BJ, that kind of reminds me of the way you drive to work in the morning.
Well, yes. So, the nice thing is here, they're just sitting there. Sorry, I had to do that. But the point is, you've got great graphics, and it's very, very fast performance.
Cool.
Okay, so now let's talk about how you can do more things with your PC. Okay, and one thing that you can do is we talked about that TV tuner card before in Windows 98, right? Well, let's not forget, if I have a TV tuner card in my PC, that means I can actually watch TV on my PC. So we're going to show you what this is like. Now, again, to do this, you need the TV tuner card that allows you to receive the signal and process the signal when you plug the cable feed in or the rabbit ears. And you're going to see here in a moment that I've got my program listings up so I can see what's on TV, and it's going to be very easy to search through the listings. So here's my guide here, and you see I've got all my channel listings, and up in the top right corner, I've got a preview of what this show is. And as I switch channels, it gives me that channel up in the window. And of course, if I want to go full screen, let's get something a little lighter here.
Hockey.
Hockey. Dude, that's your sport.
It's for the audience in Canada.
All right, so here we go. And now let's go back to the guide. Let's show you how easy it is to search for programs. I'm going to go to the Search tab, and think about what it's like searching today. It's like you flip through that guide, or
you have 500 channels. You have to go through a paper guide, or
you know that preview channel. It takes like 2 hours to go through just like 10 channels.
Yeah.
I hate that. So here I can just type in my favorite program. Oh, we missed Bugs.
We missed Bugs.
Bugs was on in the morning. Oh. No. Let's try hockey. Okay, there we go.
We're back.
I knew hockey had to work.
Knew we were coming back to this.
Okay, so here it is. And there's some other cool stuff that we can do here. For example, if I just click on this show, say I want to see this one, check out this Remind feature. This is my favorite feature here. I click on the Remind button, and it's going to pop up a reminder on my PC, so it says stop working, go watch TV. Okay, so let's go back to the guide. Go to now. Let's go back to this hockey game. Now let's put this to use. How do we think customers are going to use this TV functionality on their Windows 98 PC? We don't think that this is going to replace their armchair TV set. It's going to complement it, though. Let's think, for example, you doing your taxes.
Right.
Whether it's with calculator or if you decide to upgrade to Money 98.
Wouldn't want to miss the hockey game while I'm doing my tax return.
That's right. So what you could do is you could put the TV in a window. And in this case, I'm actually going to launch my mail. I'm going to launch Outlook Express, so I can be doing mail while I'm catching that game. So I... Now check. Now,
that's right.
You know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this.
And this should be really predictable.
Okay. We got multiple monitors here, so let's just take advantage of them. Let's drag the mail over to this one. Oh,
switch screen.
Had to do a little switcheroo there.
There we
Switch
go.
it over there. Blow it up. Go back to this one. Blow it up.
Awesome.
And now, as you multitask, your Windows 98 PC multitasks with you.
Okay. Now, we're going to move on to talk about how Windows 98 is a better entertainment platform. We're going to talk about support for DVD. And DVD is the next generation successor to the CD-ROM. It has a couple of key benefits. One, it holds an incredible amount of information, up to 17 gigabytes. With a double-side, double-density DVD. It also supports MPEG-2, which means you can put an entire movie on a single DVD today, where in the past, like if you want to put Jurassic Park on a movie, on a CD, you'd have to put that on 7 CD-ROMs. Now you can put an entire movie, including all the full theater quality video and digital surround sound, on a single DVD.
So why don't we take a look?
Let's take a look.
So, what I'm going to show here is Warren Miller's Ski World, which is a great new DVD published by Multicom. And so what you see here is I've got full screen video, and it's very, very high quality. Unlike an AVI or even an MPEG-1, DVD is based off MPEG-2, which is a new technology which allows you to get this full screen, very high resolution video. And you can do some cool things here. With multiple monitors, I'm losing my mouse here. There we go. Bring up the player.
Full screen.
Okay, full screen. Now let's try just doing a little fast forward action here.
Right, you couldn't do this with an MPEG or an AVI today. This is great.
Let's fast forward to one other part. Now check this out.
This is your favorite part of the clip, isn't it? Whoa. Now are we talking extreme here or what?
Yeah, and notice. Notice the nice freeze frame capabilities.
Awesome freeze frame.
Oh, there he goes. And this guy just impresses me every single time with what he's able to do.
Yeah.
So, and just because we can, we're going to check out this one last guy because he just catches so much gnarly air. Check this out. Whoa! Is he going to make it?
That looks like a pretty good landing.
Dude, he's on teleskis.
Oh!
As you can see, hours of entertainment with DVD and Windows 98.
Okay, so far we've shown you how Windows 98 is playing better with support for better games and better entertainment. Now we're going to show you how Windows 98 lets you do more with your PC with support for easily adding new PC accessories, such as we have a very cool video camera here.
Cool.
That's right. And this guy here kind of looks like the Martian from War of the Worlds.
Now check this out. We're going to give you a view here of our live studio audience. There's Mia, our floor director, telling us to look at camera 2.
There's camera 2.
Okay. Now if we look back here, very cool.
Oh, very good.
So
this is a Connectix Quick Cam.
Exactly. And it's a USB Quick Cam.
Yeah. And
USB makes it very, very easy to add devices to your PC. And let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
Number one, USB has a very standard connector. And let's take a look at another USB device. This is a USB mouse. And you can see that connector at the end is what we call a USB connector, and every single USB device has that type of connector. So it's one size fits all. You don't have to worry about which one goes where.
Right.
Oh man.
Now, how do I know if my PC has one of these?
Well, that's a good question. You can look on the back of your PC, and if it does, it'll have 2 slots that will fit that. In fact, most PCs have been shipping with USB capabilities and USB ports for quite a while. In fact, they first started shipping about 18 months ago. Okay. And today, we think there are about 30 million PCs with USB ports out there.
In the United States alone, I believe.
I believe so. That's published by IDC.
Yep.
And we also know that about 80% of all PCs shipping today have USB ports in them.
Right.
So benefit number 1 is it just makes it very easy. You don't have to worry about which connector goes where, none of this color coding, things like that. Number 2 benefit is that you don't need a separate power cord. You notice this camera here only has 1 cord, and it goes right into the PC. And it actually gets the power that it needs through this same cord. Right. Another nice benefit, aside from the fact that
I'll get this guy standing back.
Okay.
Here we go.
Another nice benefit is that it transfers the data faster. In most cases, about 30 to 40 times faster. So for you performance guys out there, it's just going to give you a lot better performance.
Right. That'd be like, what, 12 megabits per second?
That would be 12 megabits a second. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Technical. Okay. And I think we should probably put this to... Actually, there's one other thing I want to show here. We've got the capability to daisy chain USB devices. Say, for example, I want to put in this joystick and I want to add this mouse. I could add this hub here, and now I've got 4 more slots. And so I could just, add up to 127 USB devices to a single PC.
Cool. Yeah. And this 4-port USB hub is made by Linksys.
You got it.
Okay.
So now, let's put this to the test and show how easy it is to add a device with USB support in Windows 98. To show you this, we've actually got a USB device and the equivalent version in the parallel port version. This is a Storm Technology scanner, and that is the parallel scanner. This is the USB version. Dave, because you're going to need it, I'm going to give you the head start on Windows 95.
You think I need a head start? I can't believe this. Okay, what do we got here? What that is. I guess that's the scanner. Dude, what's that?
I don't know, man. What if you have to crack the case?
Yeesh.
That'd be your power.
There isn't power here within 10 feet of this PC.
I'm going to put you out of your misery.
This is too hard.
Okay. So the first benefit, of course, of USB is that there's just no shrink wrap or packaging required. It just comes out of the box, right? Now, let's take a look at this. So here's my scanner. Let's do it this way, actually.
Okay.
And let's plug it into the hub. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay. Everyone hold your breath.
And watch this screen right here. Watch my screen 1. It says, oh, there's an unknown device. And now it says, oh, it's a Storm Technology Logitech page scan. And now it's going to prompt me for the driver. So I just insert my Windows 98 CD-ROM. And I'm just going to go to the Win 98 files. Now it's going to install the driver.
This is really easy.
Yeah. And it's ready to go. Now the nice thing is that Windows 98 with USB support is very smart. It knows that when I hit the button on the scanner, it means I probably want to use it. So it actually will launch the application. So I'm not going to do anything on the computer, but I'm just going to hit this, and it launches the imaging application.
Oh, amazing.
And now we're ready to scan. So
I brought a picture for you.
Oh,
yeah.
That's pretty cute.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Picture of
Melanie,
my wife and son, on vacation.
All right.
All right.
So I just hit scan now. In it goes.
Oh.
Isn't that cute?
Oh, he's so cute.
So you see here that I'd never used the scanner before, and I plugged it in, and about 2 minutes later, we're already scanning in Edward and Melanie. Amazing. And so the point is, it's very, very easy to add devices to your Windows 98 PC.
Okay. So you know what we've shown, in the course of our demo, the first part of our demo, we demonstrated that Windows 98 worked better by being easier, faster, and smarter. And in the second half, we demonstrated that it plays better by supporting better games, better entertainment, and letting you do more with your PC. Now, there are some other questions that we've heard from people, especially since the last eXtreme event, and why don't we cover off a few of those.
Okay.
First of all, BJ, when is Windows 98 going to be available?
You can expect it to be available at the end of the second quarter of this year.
Okay. Now, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, we haven't officially publicly announced pricing yet, but you can expect it to be about the same as Windows 95.
Okay. Anything you can tell me about, the expected upgrade path?
Well, there's one easy upgrade for both Windows 3.1 users as well as Windows 95 users, and it's a very, very easy upgrade, and especially so for Windows 95 users.
Okay. And, what about system requirements? How do I know if my PC will run Windows 98?
Okay. At a minimum, you need a 486 processor with 66 megahertz. You also need at least 16 megabytes of RAM. Obviously, as you add more RAM, you're going to get better performance. And for hard disk space, you need, on average, about 195 megabytes of free disk space.
Everyone in this room has been, pretty familiar with the situation, buying a new car, let's say, and driving off the lot and saying, I really could have had some extras. Maybe, the heated seats, or the sunroof, or, the headlight wipers.
What about the winch?
Oh, dude, no car could be without a winch.
No.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is that we've got a new product called Microsoft Plus 98 that is, provides this sort of thing for Windows 98. It's kind of like, it's the ideal companion for Windows 98 with enhancements for work and play. And then BJ, you're going to show us a few of these enhancements.
Sure. Let's first start out with the enhancements for work. The #1 requested feature among Windows users was actually virus protection.
Right.
So in Microsoft Plus 98, we've actually included McAfee Virus Scan, and it also includes 6 months of free updates. And you remember that maintenance wizard that we talked about before in Windows 98? Well, the nice thing is that with Plus 98, it integrates the virus protection into that maintenance wizard. So here's my maintenance wizard screen with Plus on it, and you see that in addition to the 3 tasks we saw before, it'll actually scan for and remove viruses, and it'll do this on a regular basis.
Right.
So again, this is McAfee Virus Scan, and it's got 6 months of free updates.
Awesome.
Now, the other item you see here is it'll actually clean up my start menu. And let's take a look at this. We talked about how it's very easy to customize your start menu, but there are cases where, maybe I've got some broken links in my start menu, or let's check this out. I've got this empty folder with nothing in it. Why is that there?
Kind of suspicious that it's called empty folder.
Well, yes. And if I go to Microsoft Games, then I go to Flight Sim, then I go to the actual game, it's kind of like redundant to have all these folders. So wouldn't it be great if I could have a utility clean this up? That's what this little start menu cleaner will do. So you can see it's going to move single items in a folder up 1 level, so that Flight Simulator will go up, and it's going to get rid of empty folder.
Yeah.
So let's hit OK. We'll let it do its thing, and I think it's done.
That was fast.
Yeah, well, Windows 98 is fast.
Faster.
Look, no empty folder.
Ooh, amazing.
And Flight Sim's down here, and there it is.
I like
so
that.
we moved it up. So again, just some nice things to make it much easier to automate the process of keeping your start menu clean. Now let's talk about how you can customize your desktop. And this is another top requested feature by users. They want the ability to make their desktop the way they want it. So we've got updated support for themes in Microsoft Plus 98. So let's take an example of, say, this cool science fiction theme. And what you can see here is that I can get a preview of what it's like. So say I want to go to the busy. Check this out on the screen here. I get a preview of what it is. It's like this cool little planet doodad.
Yeah.
I can go to text select, I can go precision select, normal. Okay, now let's get out of here. Let's show you the screensaver. It's going to take a quick moment while it loads up.
Taking a quick moment. Here it comes.
Oh, except I moved the mouse.
Oh. Give it another chance. Here we go.
There it is.
Don't touch that mouse.
I'm not touching that mouse.
Oh, look at that.
So you've got some very cool 3D graphics. It supports multiple monitors here. We're on both monitors. You've got the cool shadows. So this is the science fiction theme. And we've really included a whole lot of themes that are really going to appeal to all kinds of folks. I mean, if we look here in this list, I've got the horror channel. I've got Garfield,
So you have some
Foxtrot.
cool branded themes as well.
Yeah, we've even got Charlie Brown and the whole Peanuts gang. So let's take a look at this. And let's do one preview here. We'll go into the sounds. And when you start up Windows and you log into Windows, this is what you'd hear when you start Windows. Predictable, but
That's awesome. Okay.
okay.
Now, so that was just a little bit of sound playing in PC. Now, what if what other sound enhancements have you got for us?
Well, we've got this really cool new CD player, and oops, I guess we're getting the Peanuts theme. We're getting the Peanuts theme, guys. Okay, there we go.
Well, here we are.
So
let's just roll with it.
Let's just go with it.
Okay.
So I've got a cool CD here, one of my favorite audio CDs. You know, when I'm working away, I like to listen to some music. So let's just pop it in. And you're going to see it's very, very cool.
Okay.
So it's going to auto-detect it here in a moment, and it's going to start playing.
Yep.
And now this is this deluxe CD player, and what it's going to do is it searches the internet, and it figures out what the album is called. This is actually the brand new Heavies, and this song is called I Like It. And let's fast forward to the part that I like.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. So now, check this out. Say like I'm working away and I'm listening to music, and suddenly I say, God, I really like this track. I forget what it's called. I just go in here, and it's got all the track titles. And the one that's bold is the one that's on.
Right. Awesome.
And if it were, say, for example, if I had a CD changer on my PC, I could look at all the CDs that are there. And now this is very cool. I can go to the internet, and I can search for more stuff on the net. I can go to internet music sites. I can go to more about the brand new Heavies. I could go to other hip-hop albums, other club dance albums. Let's just go to the other hip-hop.
Yeah.
You look like a hip-hop kind of guy.
Yeah, that's it.
And notice the little cool peanuts.
Let's see it. We're attempting to connect to the net.
We're attempting to connect to the net.
Attempting to. The net hasn't failed us so far. Oh well.
Well, looks like we may have to pass on this. Looks like our net connection may have failed. But the cool thing here is that it'll go up to the site and it'll find related content to the CD that you're listening to, and that's what this is all about.
Cool.
So again, some great enhancements for both work and play with Microsoft Plus 98.